Chapter 25, Serafina was stunned. When did Lily start scheming? She also wanted to take over the corporation, and even colluded with William. But how did Lily know about Grandma's plans? Who told her? Olivia? Grandma didn't answer her question directly, but only said a nonsensical sentence. Lily, I didn't expect you to have such ambitions. Don't you like ambitious people? Lily smiled. You must know how capable William is. Of course, Lily was very confident. I am even more capable of capturing men. If we hand over the group's business rights to William, we will definitely manage it well. As for Serafina, Theodore, and Mother, the major shareholders holding the company's shares are still them, sitting back and enjoying the benefits. Isn't that great? Your lifelong hope is to hand over the group's business rights to someone with real ability to manage. But right now Serafina doesn't have that ability. If Grandma wants to transfer the group's business rights for the sake of the group's future, why not transfer them to the granddaughter who has been raised in the Beaumont family for 18 years? Lily's eloquence is really surprisingly good. Serafina was stunned. Unexpectedly, Lily had the same intention as her, wanting to use her identity as the Beaumont family's granddaughter to compete for the business rights. In the end, did she want to, or was there someone behind her back helping her? But no matter what, this opponent was much stronger than she thought. Grandma remained silent. After a moment of silence, Lily chuckled. You haven't agreed yet because you're counting on the Lancaster family, right? But, her voice exuded contempt, do you really think Serafina has that kind of ability? Will Mr. Lancaster like a fake young lady like her who has just come out? Or will Harrison like her? Serafina stood under the dim light. The path ahead was much more difficult than she had imagined. Not to mention, I heard that the elders of the Lancaster family seem to have their sights set on Miss Kensington. With Serafina's education and vision, it's really hard to find a decent person in this upper class. A girl like her is absolutely incapable of managing a corporation, and the same goes for Theodore. Do you still have confidence? Serafina stood outside the door, leaning against the wall, slightly raising her head, sighing. Lily is really good, every word she says hits the nail on the head, touching on what Grandma worries about the most. Serafina tried to take a deep breath. After this party ended, she must talk properly with Theodore and Grandma. She also had to try harder, trying to make Grandma believe her, believe Theodore. Just as she finished cheering herself up, she suddenly heard Grandma tiredly say, I'm tired, you go out. She hurriedly hid in the hallway next to her, ran straight to the bathroom at the end of the row, and pushed the door open. At this moment, the door was pushed open by someone. She was surprised, and immediately rushed in by inertia. The person opened the door and turned off the light. She only saw that it was suddenly dark in front of her, her foot twisted, her whole body lost its balance, and she fell into that person's arms. That person was also surprised, and hurriedly supported her, but she instinctively pulled him. In order to avoid falling face down with her, he suddenly leaned forward, pressing her against the wall with one hand. It took a while. She struggled to stand, and raised her head in confusion, seeing Harrison's handsome face. In the dim light, his eyes were unusually clear, filled with a bit of surprise, but not panic at all. His hands were still on her waist, his palms still cool. The two of them were only a fist's distance apart, close enough to make each other's hearts beat faster. A dangerous and ambiguous breath enveloped the peaceful dreamy night. Will Harrison like her? Lily's harsh voice rang out again. She stiffened slightly. A crazy thought appeared in her mind. She suddenly wanted to have this man, but not because of love, but simply because he had the surname Lancaster. But just as she was hesitating whether to rush forward and bite him, he let go of her, took a step back, successfully creating a safe distance. She came to her senses, immediately disdaining the thought that had just flashed through her mind. It was truly a shameful thought. He saw that her complexion was not very good, and suddenly said unexpectedly, Serafina, you are very beautiful today. She was stunned, and raised her head in a daze. She had heard the same sentence 4 times tonight. He looked at her, his expression indifferent. Why are you in such a hurry? She smiled faintly, lowered her head, a little unnatural, and found a random reason. It's just that I have to dance the opening dance later. I'm a bit nervous. but he thought it was real. He saw that she bowed her head silently, his dark eyes suddenly flashed. After a while, he took another step forward, grabbing her soft and slender hand. She was stunned, looked up, he pulled her, and she immediately fell towards him. When her heart jumped to her throat, his other hand was already on her waist. She panicked, her heart pounding again. This position. She slowly raised her face. In the darkness, his eyes became deeper, smiling faintly, then practice a bit. Now she placed her hand that was not being held on his shoulder, moving to follow him. In the dim light, there was no music, only the harmonious and synchronized dance steps of the two people. Her heart was as calm as duckweed drifting along the water. He moved with him, like a butterfly chasing the sun, like a small boat bobbing on the water. Everything was in accordance with nature, as if there was telepathy. It was as if a song was playing in the darkness, the beautiful rhythm gently penetrating the air, touching the heart. When the dance stopped, he asked, "Still nervous?" She took a deep breath, shaking her head. 10 minutes later, on the dance floor in the middle of the lawn, everyone witnessed a gentle dance between the prince and the princess. In the gentle waltz, the two steps were sometimes slow and melodious, sometimes graceful and romantic. Everyone was excited and applauded. What a beautiful couple, regardless of appearance or demeanor, there was nothing to criticize. The young man wore a dark suit, his noble features clearly visible on his forehead, as noble as a prince. The girl in his arms had her hair loose, her white dress fluttering in the wind like the most elegant and beautiful princess. The soft long dress fluttered in the late-night wind, the neat skirt suddenly seemed to turn into layers, like the mist in a summer night's dream. Like a beautiful flower stretching and blooming. And Serafina was lying in the middle of that flower platform. The silk dress fluttered as if it had a spirit, dancing gently with the two people's light steps. Serafina did not see the eyes of the audience, whether they were filled with longing, blessing, jealousy, or resentment. At this moment, in her eyes, there was only Harrison's profound face. She and he, freely spinning in the dance. She looked at him. On her pale face was a bright smile, from the corner of her mouth to the bottom of her eyes. She happily thought, "Tonight will be good." She did not know how long she had been dancing, so happy that she had forgotten the time. Until someone in the crowd started counting down, 10, 9. Time was once again evoked. The bottom of her heart was filled with excitement. She smiled brightly. "Harrison?" This was the first time she called his name, not the formal Mr. Lancaster, nor the joking Mr. Harrison Lancaster. Their dance had slowly stopped. But he did not let go. He felt his mind was a little chaotic. The voices gradually became louder. 8, 7. In the middle of the night, her eyes were shining like the stars in the sky. She was as happy as a child. "Thank you, Harrison." He did not reply, only looking at her pale face, the night wind playfully ruffling her sideburns, brushing past her slightly rosy cheeks, so beautiful that it made his heart tremble. The voices of people shouting became clearer and clearer. 6, 5. He suddenly remembered a custom. When people count down to the new year, at the moment the new year is coming, they will kiss the person next to them. 4, 3. He thought, perhaps because of the darkness, this was the first time in his life he felt uncontrollable. He forced a smile in his heart. Why would he think about this New Year's custom when everything was fine? The countdown and the darkness were what made people lose control, but he had never lost control. The shouts were already very loud, too. But suddenly, everyone fell silent. The final one would never come again. He raised his head in surprise, looking behind Serafina. The gentleness in his eyes was immediately replaced by deep fear. Serafina didn't understand anything. Looking back, in the darkness, her white dress was like a ghost, frantically hovering. A cold breath blew past, her heart sank. On the LED screen was a naked photo. She only glanced and knew it was a photo from that debauchery party. Although she knew nothing happened that day, but the photo was blurred, but it made people feel like everything had happened. Oh my God, why did this nightmare happen again? At this moment, her 20s were ruined again.